Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Mr. Relevant Play. I got a new toy, thanks to a friend of mine. One of the Excelsior variants. So now, obviously, you can tell by the title and the thumbnail that this is going to be a comparison video from this Excelsior to the Excelsior 2 to the legendary Excelsior. Now that I have all three, I can do a legitimate, proper one, unlike my previous videos. So, well, this is going to be similar to the Galaxy X one, I guess you could say. So, what are the differences between all three? Which ones seem to synergize the best? And so on. So let's go ahead and start with the legendary Excelsior. So first I'm going to go ahead. Good. Switch to legendary. And then we'll start with that one. Then move to the Excelsior 2. Then we'll move on to the Obina, which I'm pretty sure I pronounced that. But y'all know me. I don't know how to say words. Alright, so the legendary Excelsior. This was added to the game in the 11th anniversary bundle. It gives the Excelsior a Discovery era like theme to it, which it looks really good. I find this look to be fantastic. I might dislike Discovery as a show, but when it comes to the art style, when it comes to Federation ships, I think they're fantastic. The effects were great. There were a lot of characters in that show that I did like, and I can't say anything negative to the actors and actresses themselves because they did a pretty good job with the roles that they were given. Doesn't mean not to like the characters, though. However, it gives the Excelsior a Discovery era look to it, and it looks really good. It looks like, I mean, honestly, this looks like a heavy cruiser. As its name suggests, this thing looks like it's built to take a beating and can dish it out a little bit as well. So this ship is a Miracle Worker ship with a secondary seating of pilot. So it has basically a very similar seating to the legendary Sovereign. Miracle Worker primary, pilot secondary. It's a very good combination. This ship handles very well. It flies good. It's a 4-4 loadout. All the Excelsiors have the 4-4 loadout, so at least that is going to make this video very easy when it comes to that. When it comes to the synergy between pilot and Miracle Worker, they work very well together. Just like a lot of like Miracle Worker and Intel, Command, Pilot, so on. Works well with one another. And also Miracle Worker being a primary isn't bad because you get the Miracle Worker mechanic, which gives you a bunch of random buffs, which is great. Console loadout, unupgraded. It's just 1 universal, 5 engineering, 2 science, 4 tactical. Bridge officer layout for the legendary Miracle Worker is 1 universal lieutenant seating, 1 ensign lieutenant. Sorry, 1 ensign seating, universal. Lieutenant commander, tactical, engineering Miracle Worker commander, and then engineering pilot, lieutenant commander. This ship is, of course, very engineer focused because it's a heavy cruiser. Not much room for science for a ship like this, nor should it have much room for science. The thing isn't built for exploration. It's built for combat. As for how the build that I put on here works, standard beam fire at will build, with a lot of current meta stuff with my own little twist to it. As y'all know, I don't really chase the meta, but I like to build my own twists to ships. My spam bar, I mean, pretty much all the builds for all three are for the most part going to be generally the same. Here's my spam bar, 9, 8. I have certain abilities off my spam bar to activate manually on purpose, and also because they can mess with the rotation. Like, for example, I have noticed that whenever I'm doing my builds, fire on my Mark III does affect my rotation for some reason. It will misfire, fire at will, or and scatter volley from time to time, and I don't know why. I would definitely rate this ship a solid 9 out of 10. It flies well. Survivability on this thing is good. This thing can tank, DPS, whatever you want it to do. The only reason why I don't give it a full 10 is because of, again, a little bit of lack of science, but the ship isn't meant for it. So 11th anniversary bundle is the only way you can get this. I think the 11th anniversary bundle is a really good bundle. Extremely underrated compared to the other anniversary bundles. Yes, it only gives you 4 ships, unlike the other bundles. However, the 4 ships that are offered in this bundle are amazing. As for the traits that come off of the legendary miracle worker, you got your standard tier 6 traits for the other versions of the tier 6 ship that came out prior to this ship being released. Both traits are not the greatest, so you don't really need to run these traits. The legendary trait, however, is a pretty good tanking trait. So it's good for if you want to build a tank. This trait is a pretty good one to get your hands on. Plus, the ship itself is a good tank. You can you can kit bash the ship with the legendary version of the ship, along with every iteration of the Excelsior prior to this ship being released. Go ahead and pull it up and show you what I'm referring to. You have the Excelsior, which they did a reskin of a few years back. It looks more sleek, more clean, more to the original. Then you have the Excelsior refit, which is basically the Excelsior 2.0 that was released later within the timeline during the TMP era, I guess you could say. Then the last one would be the modern era Excelsior, which is called the Resolute. It's a more mainstream ship that you would see in today's era of Star Trek Online. Like if you were actually to go out, fly around, this is the version of the ship that you would see flying around due to the timeline. So you can kit bash all 4 versions of this, and together you can do quite a nice few things with it. Like I do love the body of this one, the nacelles, the pylons, like everything about this one I do enjoy. But on occasion I'll kit bash it, and a lot of times I'll just go back to the OG Excelsior because, well, I mean, it's a classic and it's beautiful. I love the Excelsior. Now let's move on to the first one on the second one on the list, which is the Excelsior 2, which is a lockbox ship. So I do apologize to those who can't get it. I had to trade a lot for it back when I actually could afford to get, lockbox ships and RD promo ships. I got the Kelvin Connie 2, and I traded it for the Excelsior 2. I currently have Vanity Shield on it, so it doesn't have its actual appearance to it. So let me go ahead and remove that for you, so then you can see it. And one thing I probably should have done to the other ship is this. Turn off my head. So this is the Excelsior 2. I haven't heard any... Well, I mean... Actually, let me think. I don't recall hearing anyone say anything negative about the visual appearance of this ship. I personally do not dislike the visual appearance of the ship. I think it is great. The ship looks so sleek. It looks so clean. It is just... I think it's a gorgeous ship. Thing that does stink about this ship is that you cannot kit bash it with the other versions. So this is basically a standalone Excelsior. Cannot kit bash it with the legendary or the other Zen variants. So this is it. If you get this one, it will only look like this. And that's it. However, it can be kit bashed with the other one that I will talk about, which is the first one that you saw. So this ship does have a few limitations compared to the legendary version and the Miracle Worker version. What I mean by it, just like its counterparts, it's a 4/4 loadout. It is unupgraded 4 engineering, 3 science, 4 tactical. And for its bridge officer seating, it is a Intel primary with Miracle Worker secondary, which is a very good combination. But as you notice, there's only 4 bridge officer seatings, so you kind of limit yourself in the bridge officer department. Now, with that being said, the seatings that you do get, you have more room to play. Because you have a Lieutenant Commander Universal, a Lieutenant Commander Tactical, Lieutenant Commander Science, and then a Commander Engineering. So you get a little bit more play with your bridge officer seatings. You don't have to run 2 Tacticals, you can run 2 Engineers, you can run 2 Science, so on and so forth. If you wanted to do all Miracle Worker abilities on Science seating, you'd use the Universal seating for Science abilities if you wanted to. If you want to run all Intel abilities, you could use that for Engineering. So you get more play with this one than you do the Legendary counterpart. Now, again, like I said before, practically the same build that I run on all 3. I think I found my sweet spot. But the Excelsior 2, I absolutely love. I love flying it. I loved 2 buddies of mine that I play with. Well, one of them doesn't play as much as he used to, but the one I do currently play with on a quite regular basis flies his Excelsior 2 quite regularly. And I helped him do a pretty good build with it. So I would rate the Excelsior 2 Intel Heavy Cruiser also at a 9 out of 10, with the limitations of only having 4 bridge officer seating. Span bar is pretty much the same. So let's go ahead and move on to the last Excelsior on this list. Go ahead and save that and move down to the other lockbox. This other version. So like I said before, Excelsior 2 and this one can be kit bashed. You can take pieces from one, put it on the other, and vice versa. I actually already found a good kit bash style that I do enjoy with it. I keep this saucer, keep this body, I change its neck and the pylons. That's the way that I like to do it. It's like 50-50 within the cells. This Excelsior, which is called the Obina, or Obena, however which way you want to pronounce it, is the Sovereign skin, I guess you could say. As you can see, I haven't upgraded it, so this is its standard loadout. And what I mean by its Sovereign, like, counterpart, if you go look at the legendary ships, there are a few ships that get like a Sovereign touch. There's the legendary Odyssey, got a Sovereign touch. The legendary Galaxy got a Sovereign touch. And then of course the Sovereign. There is also a Sovereign skin for the Constitution class. So if you wanted to do like a gaming theme night where everyone's flying like a Sovereign style ship, well, you got the Connie, got the Galaxy, got the Odyssey, got the Sovereign itself, and now you have Lobina. So, just like the previous 2 iterations, it is a 4-4 loadout. The build is, again, the same. I think I found a build that I really like, and I'm going to stick with it for now. The only thing I'm really changing is just the traits. The console that comes off of this one is Antimatter Interwave. It basically gives you damage resistance and then a AoE boom of radiation around things that are close to you. And then you get a speed and turn rate buff. The console from the Excelsior 2, which I forgot to mention, is the Experimental Power Redirection. It's basically Beam Overload at will. It's a fantastic console. If you're doing a Beam Fire at will build of this console, doesn't matter what energy type you are using, this console is amazing, and I highly recommend getting it. With the event campaign that's currently happening, you have the chance of getting the Excelsior 2 for this console, but of course, there are other ships out there that I'm sure that you'd want. Quite a few on my list. I have like 3 that 1 I need for its trait, 2 I want to get because 1 I like the way that the ships look and I want to play with their traits to see if they work the way I think they do. Anyway, back to the Obina. When it comes to this ship's stations, this one also has a little bit more flexibility compared to the legendary variant. It is a Lieutenant Commander Universal Command. It is a Lieutenant Commander Tactical, Commander Engineering Miracle Worker, with a lieutenant engineer seating, and then ensign science. So out of the three, I would say this one has the best in terms of having more freedom with the bridge officer seating. I would say that the second one is a little bit better in terms of like its seatings being more flexible. Because for the example, this one, let's say your build requires you using a lot of science abilities, but there's a few command abilities that you really want to use. Well, you have to basically choose one or the other. I've come to find it. I could do the same thing with this one where I just switch this with tactical, like I did with the legendary version, and I can use a command ability here or there. And then just like use this ability for jam targeting sensors for Oncon. There's because there's a Uncon, Merc Worker got buffed recently to where they have abilities that buff Uncon. So at least there's that as well. As for back to the physical appearance of this ship, I actually like it. It's not as long as the other ones. The neck is a little bit taller. So it does it kind of goes back to like the OG Excelsior in a way with a modern flare. Or the end of TNG era flare. So this is a good ship. This ship maneuvers, I would say this ship maneuvers the best out of the three, I've come to find. But again, you can kit bash this with the Excelsior 2 to, look the way that you want it to with that ship. Unfortunately, again, it's locked out of the legendary Excelsior. I would also give this ship a 9 out of 10. Again, it's all related to the bridge officer seatings. Just being a little constricted is all. I still believe that every ship is a good ship. You just have to set it up correctly, or you just have to set it up in a way that works very well. So, what do I think about all three ships? Which one is better? Which one handles better? So on and so forth. They all handle amazingly. You can do great things with all three. A buddy of mine with the Excelsior 2, I helped him get set up, and if he just has a good run, he can easily hit 1,000,000 DPS in Hive Elite with his Excelsior 2. He beat me in DPS when I was running mine. Granted, his was X2 and mine was not, but either way, he beat me by a good chunk. So yeah, I mean, these are the three Excelsiors. I really cannot decide which one is better than the other one. You could write everything down and do your, analysis of which one's better based on the numbers, but numbers are just one half of, testing. Does it actually work is the thing. I've noticed that there are things that people have written down like, oh, by the numbers, this ship won't work, or by the numbers, this is not going to do well. But then I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to do it anyway. And then it ends up working very, very well. So it's one of those things. On paper will say one thing, but then in practice, it's a completely different story. So these are the three Excelsiors. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, give me some ideas. I would love to do more comparisons. Yeah. I love all three versions of this ship. I really cannot pick one over the other. I honestly can't. I would say when it comes to the combinations of the bridge officer abilities, I would have to give it to the legendary Excelsior or the Excelsior 2. Because one's Miracle Worker Pilot. I love Miracle Worker and Pilot combination. One is Intel Miracle Worker. I love that combination too. So the command seating is also really good. As you can see, I kind of have mine set up in a very specific way. So, yep, but this is the three Excelsiors, the big ones of the game. If you love the Excelsior, you will love every single one of these ships. I love the Excelsior. A buddy of mine who is just now starting in the game loves the Excelsior, and I'm going to see if I can help him get the legendary one at some point, if I can ever get the ability to. But, yep, Excelsiors. I love them all. All of them are great ships. Anyway, God bless. I'll see you in the next video. And stay tuned for more. And also, I will be streaming again today.